Hi, my name is Steve Smith, and as a former professional athlete and now health and fitness consultant, the most commonly asked question I get from people besides how can I get six-pack abs is how can I get a flat stomach? Now, I regularly get emails from women and men that say they've been doing plenty of exercise, they've been eating right, and they even say they can see fat has come off their stomach area, but no matter what they do, they still seem to have this bulging of the stomach, or pooch if you will, of their lower abdomen, that it sticks out. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you the real reason your stomach sticks out, particularly the lower part, and the real secret to getting that stomach permanently in and nice and flat as possible, and even without having to burn an ounce of stomach fat. And it'll stay in without having to try to hold it in. That's right, this is very unique and is part of my closely guarded paid fitness program that only the lucky ones have had a chance to experience. So watch this entire video right now while you still can, because I may not keep it up forever. Your stomach bulge may have nothing to do with how much cardio or aerobics you are doing, or anything to do with the food you're eating. What is causing your stomach to bulge is stemming more from a musculoskeletal imbalance of the pelvis. This is when some muscles are tight and others are weak. And then what is happening is it is causing your pelvis to tilt into a position which is causing your stomach to actually bulge out. And with specialized stretches and exercises of the opposing muscles, we can reposition the pelvis, or align if you will, so your body runs much straighter and healthier. Over time, this misalignment of the pelvis will have led to weaker transverse abdominis muscles, which are your deeper inner abdominal muscles, which actually wrap around your internal organs and connect back to your lower spine, and are designed to hold everything in nice and tight. It basically acts like an inner corset. But because your pelvis has been misaligned for quite a period of time, this corset now has become stretched. However, once we start aligning the pelvis into the correct position, following specialized exercises and stretches, we can then start adding additional exercises for the internal stomach muscles, or corset muscles if you will, to start strengthening and tightening them back up too. This will then keep everything firm and in place. It won't take long and you'll start seeing incredible flat stomach results. Just from this, just from aligning the pelvis. With a regular routine of these specialized stretches and exercises, the pelvis and inner abdominal wall muscles, the stomach will never pop out or bulge out again. So let me get a little more in-depth into what is going on with your body and why your stomach has a bulge or pooch to it.
What is most likely happening to your body and causing your belly to bulge out is stemming from tight hip flexors. Hip flexors are muscles designed to do exactly that, flex the hip. There are actually three kinds of hip flexors. One, which is called the rectus femoris muscle. This hip flexor muscle is one of the four quadricep muscles of the thigh.
This muscle is attached to the kneecap and runs all the way to the anterior inferior iliac spine, which is this spot right here, the wing of the pelvis. Now, when this muscle is tight, it can actually tilt or rotate the pelvis forward, and this is a very high probability as to why you have the stomach bulge or pooch to it, if you will. The other two hip flexor muscles are the iliacus and psoas major muscles. These are two very powerful hip flexor muscles and are both attached to the lesser trochanter, which is this small bump situated on top of the femur, and runs really close beside the ilium, which is the wing part of the pelvis, and joins to the lumbar vertebrae transverse processes. Now, when these muscles are really tight, they also tilt the pelvis forward. Most probably, if one of these hip flexor muscles are tight, they all will be. So now, as you can see, when these muscles are tight, when the rectus femoris, the iliacus, and the psoas major hip flexor muscles are tight, as you can see, the pelvis is pushed forwards or tilted forwards and is leading to my stomach bulging out. If we can elongate or loosen or relax these muscles, or even strengthen the antagonist muscles, the opposite muscles, which are the hip extensor muscles, you'll see how the pelvis now returns into a much straighter, more natural, healthy position, and my stomach is completely flat. Have a look in the mirror for yourself. As you tilt the pelvis forwards, your belly sticks out, tilt it back, and your belly becomes completely flat. This is the position we are aiming for, to keep the pelvis in this position at all times, without even having to try to. Once the hip flexors are elongated and the opposite extensor muscles tighten, along with strengthening those inner abdominal corset muscles I was talking about earlier, the pelvis will just naturally stay in this position without even having to try to hold your stomach in, and your belly will keep completely flat. If you look in the mirror side on and relax, and if your lower back has quite an arch to it inwards at the back, this normally means you are for sure a candidate for having a forward rotated pelvis and needs correction or alignment. No matter how much cardio, aerobics, healthy eating you do, if these hip flexor muscles at the front there are tight and your inner abdominal muscles are stretched and weak, you will always have a belly that sticks out.